All right, so we're gonna before we integrate the cell functionality, or basically before we integrate microphone, before we integrate an AOB and injection points and all that for selling an item, we're going to save it. First, we're going to delete that because that will be meaningless, and then we will save it. Let's just do save as to make sure it's saving over the right one. Yep. All right, so we are going to close this. We're going to close that. We're going to close the game. I'm going to refresh the desktop. I'm going to empty the recycle bin. Things that I do constantly anyway, and we're just going to close Cheat Engine, and we're going to close the calculator. We're going to close everything except Wikipedia. Open this back up. Now we're going to open the game up. And what I'm going to do is probably blather on about some nonsense for a little bit. But while I'm doing that and figuring out what I'm going to say and try to make it relevant, we're going to open up the game a couple times and do a continue in the Seamstresses Union and just make sure that our buy item code works. I mean, I haven't, in between the videos, I haven't really been restarting, or I haven't been testing it out at all. So I'm going to probably do it at least 3 to 5 times just so I can be reasonably confident that it's somewhat functional. And then from there, what we're going to do is probably add in the sell functionality, and then I think that we'll probably break it up into 2 scripts. We'll have a karma script, and then we'll have a money script. And then when we go on and we bolt on extra functionality and stuff like that, we'll probably end up with several scripts. All right, so the first thing, we have to force the karma stuff into memory. So we'll do that, and we'll do that, and we'll exit. Yep. We'll enable the script. Cheat engine hangs. Does not find it. That's a problem. So let's go to buy item. Let's go to I'll take a look. See if it finds it now. Probably not. We may have to actually buy an item before it finds it. Or we may just have the byte string wrong, which is exactly why we're going back and testing this stuff. We get nothing, so let's do that. Let's confirm it. Now let's try and enable it. Post purchase. It does enable. So you can see that's, when you're dealing with managed code and well, let's do that. We'll say no thanks. When you're dealing with this stuff and you're dealing with a dynamic game that's loading and unloading, because occasionally if it hasn't been used, then routines may be forced out of memory as well as into it. But we're just going to pretend that that's not an issue for now. When you're getting into this stuff and you're really building out the scripts to a point where you're doing 3, 4, 5 AOB scans and things like that, I mean, it pays to really, if the script's not enabling, don't immediately throw your hands up and go, oh, son of a bitch, blah, 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 blah. Just stop and think about the steps that you've used to build out the AOB scans and to basically build the script and then reproduce them down to the letter. All right, so now with the script enabled, we should be able to buy something. We have 99,249. We should be able to do that and then click confirm and then click confirm, and we should have 50,000 money. We do. So in the vein of what I was just saying and what we were just talking about, so the essential steps for being able to use our script at this point are: go to the PDA, go to the karma screen, go to the spend karma screen, click plus, click minus, doesn't matter whether you click confirm, then you're going to end up closing the PDA anyway, and then you have to have at least bought one item. So let's close it. We'll wait a little bit. We'll open up another copy of Firefox because it's memory hungry. Open up another copy, open up another copy, just sort of shuffle some memory around a little bit, see what we can do. We'll do that. We'll clear the cache and do sort of a fresh refresh. So now we'll close that. Close that. Game should be done synchronizing. It is. And we've allocated and deallocated some memory by using Firefox and whatnot. Now it is unfortunate that I have to keep continuing and loading the same game. Maybe I'll look through the save game list and see if I have another character at this at a shop. All right, so we have to do that. We have to do this, and then open up the screen. Click plus, click minus. Doesn't matter, and then close it. It will reattach to the new process. Yes, we want to disable it without running the disable part. We will immediately re-enable it. It hangs, but it's not going to work because we didn't buy anything yet. So we bought something. Now we go to enable it. It should immediately enable, not immediately, but it should enable now. It does. And so let's test the other parts of our script while we're doing this. Oh, there's 100. There's 100. Hit confirm. It's 100. Hit plus. Hit revert. Goes to 100. Hit minus. Revert. Goes to 100. I don't know what to do that. So the karma stuff's working. And now when we buy an item, again 99249, we should immediately have 50,000. We do. So let's go to load game. See, this is all halls of disrepair. That's sort of a combat situation where you're looking for homes, and then all the rest of these are down and out, which is the starting room. And it's 20-30 minutes of gameplay, and unless I want to turn the series into let's play, which I don't really want to do right now, we're just going to have to deal with this constraint. The constraint being that I only have one save game where I'm standing near a shopkeeper. If you were doing this for real and you would probably want 2 or 3 different save games, and you would probably be testing this stuff out and then shutting your computer down and whatnot. But obviously, as I'm recording, that makes it somewhat difficult. So there's that, and we'll do that. We'll go in and we'll buy an item. I actually remember to do it this time. We will have 99249. No, we'll have 50,000 because the script's enabled and I'm an idiot. But nevertheless, we loaded the same game, but at least a bunch of stuff got juggled around in memory. So we'll close it and then close it and then refresh and then sit around for a little bit. I don't know, what other stuff can I open up? We'll just open up a fresh copy of that. Let's eat up some memory. We'll what's the big thing? Firefox. Let's scan Firefox for something. Cheat Engine is no doubt allocating memory to deal with the scan results. So let's search for the worst value possible. 25 million results. I'm sure that chewed up some memory. So let's open this back up. This is the last time. I'm not going to do this anymore. We're just going to test it one more time, and then we're going to say, all right, it's working for us. And if it stops working at some point and a bug crops up, then we'll just have to sit down and figure out why. And that's just, it's the nature of the beast. So that, and then karma, and then spend karma, and then plus, and then minus, and then exit. We'll buy a different item. Try and mix it up. It's a little, or to some extent. I don't know. We'll buy this shaman. The shaman clothing. We should be able to enable it now. No, because we're not actually attached to anything. Now we should be able to enable it. Searching. Oh, that's not what I wanted to click. Give me $50,000. or I'm sorry, 50,000 Nguyen. That's pretty sweet. So let's add on, let's disable our script and search for 50,000. We're going to go find our money. Let's demonstrate something else actually. We don't, so say we want to extend this out to do the to find the sell item instruction. Let's do it in a different way. You don't have to search for 50,000, modify the value, and then go find 50,000. And the reason why is because we already have some instructions. Let me think about that. We haven't sold an item yet, so we do that. Yeah. So we already have some dynamic way of locating the address that has the instruction that modifies our money when we buy something. So why can't we just go back in and sort of ask our script and ask Cheat Engine, hey, tell me the address that that you're messing with? We totally can do that. Like totally. So what I just did is we highlighted our ALB. I copied it with Control C. I wonder if I can maybe use the right. Yeah, it's maybe a clearer way to do it, which I'll try and do from now on. And then if you look, or if you remember, or you look here, we're adding 7F to whatever the memory address as returned by our AOB scan is. So we're just going to say 7F or whatever. We'll just don't even have to say it. So we're going to search for that, and you get that. Now I highly doubt you could come in and say 7F. I'm not even going to bother messing with that because it's two different kinds of things. So now what you can do is you can just do that and add it and say show in the memory or browse this memory region. It says okay, but it doesn't cut you right to it, does it? No, it does not. That's unfortunate, but we're just going to go to memory view anyway. And then we're going to delete this in the address list. I don't know, maybe there's some subtlety there that I don't know about. We'll move this down so we can see it. And we're just going to right click, say go to address. What is that address? 324.2C859. And what is we are adding 7F to that. So we will do plus 7F. And here is our injection point. Remember, we had to back up one instruction or go to a previous instruction in order to avoid this hard-coded memory address, which again you can see is radically different than what it was in the last video. So now this is the actual instruction right here. Now if you really wanted to, and we're demonstrating that, we will right click on this and say find out what addresses this instruction accesses. It'll attach the debugger, it'll highlight it in green, which has to do with breakpoints and stuff, and we'll get to that. And now we will just go here and we will say I'll take a look, and you can say buy an item. This is awesome. The game's none the wiser, and here's an address. What is that? What is this address? Well, you can see the value is 49,600. Conveniently, that is the value of our money, and you could go through this and buy 10 different items, and it doesn't matter. So here's the value of a Nguyen without actually having to search for Nguyen. This is the long way, but again, if the event that your script is giving you a hard time, I will do this so that I can just sort of track the whole thing. So here's the address for money or Nguyen. Let's find out what writes to this address. Let's go here. Let's go here. We're going to buy an item so that we can populate it with the buy. Even though we already know what it is and we have the byte string, I just want it there for comfort. In context, let's take a look. Let's sell something. We are going to sell one thing and hit sell, and then we are going to sell a second thing and hit sell, so that we should have a count over here of 1 and 2. Here's the buy because we only bought one item. Here's the sell because we sold 2 items. So now we're going to go to show dissembler. Is there any relation between these two? Are they close in memory? 3, 2, 4, meh, is what I would say. So we're going to go to new scan. Is that the actual one? All right, so here is the instruction that, let's just do that. Go here and go to show dissembler. Here's the instruction that modifies our money when you sell something, and you can see immediately that the next instruction, it's a 3-byte instruction, so when you clobber it with a jump to some memory address like we are apt to do with when we code inject, it's going to bleed over into this. There's a memory location here. That's 5 bytes. This is hard coded. Let's not get into that. Let's not, start doing that kind of thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to, I remember these instructions were very, very, very similar in memory. So we're going to go to select current function. We're going to go up above it. We could go down or like look after the function to find some fixed point in memory, but it worked going up in the previous when we were dealing with buy items, so we're just going to stick with that. But there are, at the same time, there are a lot of hard-coded memory addresses up here, and these instructions here, the 00, that's not really helping us. So we're going to go up a little further than we did before. It's dangerous to go out, or I think it's dangerous to go too far out in memory to find some fixed point, because you never know what function you're dealing with. You know, is it, especially when you're dealing with managed code. How do I want to play this? Now we'll just go up here, and there's another ret. That makes me nervous, but we're gonna go up to we're gonna go right here. Let's see what we get. C4 10 8D 65 F4 5E 5F 5B C9 C3. It's not a very good byte string. There's a shitload of them. All right, so let's go up here. So instead of deleting this and retyping all that, I'm just gonna go to the beginning and just prepend this stuff. 5 7, and then 1 2 3 4 5, and then 8 3 C4 first scan. Still getting 4 5. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. No. Sometimes you just got to do it. So we're going to do that, and then that, and then that. So that's 5 wildcards right there. So we can skip that. And then we will go up to here, which is essentially exactly what that code is, and that code is right there. It's making me nervous. It's not sitting right with me. Yep, I don't like that. So we're going to go back down here. We're going to close it so we can just jump back to it. Go to show assembler. There we are. We're going to select the current function. It ends down here at ret, and we're just going to see what we get when we look after the function. So here's where this function ends. Here's where it starts. So we will start right there. Here's where the next function or instruction set starts. 5 6 8B 7D 08. We'll skip that one. And then we have to skip the next one. And then 85 F 85 FF. Got a typo somewhere. So we went there, and then we're FF, and then 85, and then 1, and then 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. So that's 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. That's because that's 6 bytes is why. Then we had C0, and then 85, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then 6. This is why it pays to do your searching in discrete units. You know, instead of just typing out 30 bytes or whatever I just did, and then having to go back and check it every single one, you know, add one instruction, scan, add another instruction, scan, so on and so forth. And I just demonstrated why. But regardless, here we get this address 5E right here. I don't know, this is a pretty, in my opinion, this is a questionable string, a questionable byte string. But we're going to go with it. Cell item, I don't know. It is what it is, as the wise man once said. So let's do that, and then we will inject cell item, and then we will do basically just break all this crap out, just like we did, bolting on the functionality. This is why we made our script the way we did, and we're seeing that now. So there's that, and then label, return cell item, and then register the symbols. And then we have user memory. We need entry, cell item, logic goes here, and then jump to the process cell item. We don't know what the offset is yet, but we're just setting up the structure. So then we're going to need AOB sell item plus some indeterminate thing right now. Sell item, jump, entry, sell. And then return, sell item. And then we will need our disable. And then some stuff. And then we will unregister the symbol. Right. So we need to know the offset, or the difference, if you will, between the two addresses. So what is this going to return? It's going to return 5E. So then we'll take out the calculator and say we are later in memory, so we're going to subtract this value from that value. So we're going to say, why am I not in programmer? All right. So we will go to hex, and we're going to subtract 3, 2, or we are going to subtract some value from this, which is 3244 OC42. Let me just eyeball that. We get 1C. So we're going backwards in memory. So we're really doing that. But there's no really about it, but that's what we're going to do. See, we are injecting at that point. Except I'm not sure we can do that. So let's do that, and then that. Yep. We're going to have to go back one further for exactly this, because the jump boundary and or the instruction and following it has a hard-coded address. So let's not fall into that trap again. What do we got? I don't know. Getting kind of long. So now what we're going to do is that, and then bring this up. And we're going to say 32440C5E minus 32440C40, not 42. We get 1E. Is that right? 2, yeah, E. All right, so now we need to know how this is going to be. I can just, based on the previous video and whatnot, it's just going to be a jump right here. We're not going to have to pad it, but let's just cover our ass and have Cheat Engine basically sort of double check us. What address do we want to do the jump on? 40. So there's just, it's just a jump. You don't have to pad it, which we're doing right there. And then here's the original code. Again, you can type it out if you want to, but it's just faster to cut and paste it, in my opinion. Keep it nice and tidy. And then for this, we're going to do that. I'm getting on in time here, so I'm just going to do this. I don't know, what's a different value? Let's say 6188. So now when you buy an item, you will get 50,000, and then when you sell it, you will get 25,000. We will come back in and make these values the same, but just to basically double check and make sure that we have this all right and we know what functionality is being executed as it is exhibited in the application we're hacking on, as the case may be. I like to start with them at different values. So we'll hit OK. Sanity check is there. I don't think we really need this anymore. We definitely don't need that, because again, if we screw up, then the game's going to go out to lunch, and it's not going to make any difference. And if we don't screw up, then we have the AOB patterns where we can just go back in and find whatever address we want anyway. So we have bought an item and we have done all that other stuff. Now we may have a scenario here where we have to actually sell an item to find this code, or it may be loaded in when the buy item code is loaded in. So something to be wary of as we go forward. It does in fact enable. That's the wrong one. Let's do that. All right, so let's go over here. Let's take a look. Sell me some item. We have 50,062, and now we have 50,000. So let's go sell an item from the stash. Sell a bunch of items. The game is telling us we have 50,000. We should get 562 and be at 50,562. If all is right with our script, we know better than that. So let's sell. There you go. What is our current Nuyen? It is 25,000. So we were able to sort of bang that out in somewhat rapid fashion. Gonna stop the video here, and then we'll come back in, and in the beginning of the next video we'll sort of test some of this stuff and just make sure we'll do exactly what we did in the beginning of this one. Start up the game a couple times and just make sure that our sell item code is functioning in a somewhat predictable way.